Hello students, good morning to English class. Today we will discuss the lesson The Jungle Air Crash. As we have mentioned, it's a story of a 16-year-old girl named Julianne Kapok who survived a dangerous situation. So, in this lesson, she is narrating an incident that was very dangerous, and she overcame that situation with her willpower, even though she was a small girl. So what was the incident? What happened? So all these things are mentioned in this lesson named The Jungle Air Crash. So we will come to this. In the first paragraph, she mentions what was the situation. So she had just completed her secondary school education, and along with her mother, she boarded Lanza Airlines flight 508. And where were they going? They were going to their father to spend Christmas in our jungle hut, it is mentioned. And why it is mentioned jungle hut? So if you read the next sentence, you will get an idea. So her parents, both her parents were professors, and it is mentioned daddy was an ecologist, mother an ornithologist. Who is an ornithologist? A person who study about birds. So both of them, it is mentioned, held professorship at San Marcos University in Lima. So, and we know that in the case of both of them, the case of an ecologist and the case of an ornithologist, they have to spend a lot of time in jungle where they carry out their research and studies. So this time, mother and daughter were going to their father to spend Christmas, and the flight, Lanza Airlines flight 508. And then, how was the climate? How was the journey? All these things are mentioned. It is mentioned that in the beginning, everything was comfortable and smooth. There was no problem at all. So the details of the seat is mentioned, sitting in the third row of seats from the rear, the back side, and next to the window. And we know that if a person is sitting next to the window, what's the advantage? We'll have a clear view of the outside of the scenes that you see from through the window. So she had a comfortable seat, and beside her mother was there, and then everything was normal. It is mentioned the takeoff was normal, the climb over the snow-covered ants, breakfast, the smiling stewardess, the green jungle stretching east to the horizon. That means everything was very comfortable. There was nothing wrong, no problem was there, and the people were also in a happy mood. It is mentioned people were reading or chatting. Everyone was in a holiday mode. What do you mean by holiday mode? Okay, everyone was enjoying and relaxing as if it was a holiday. So because we know that if we get a holiday, we will be free from the tensions of the day of normal work, and we will spend that holiday to relax, to enjoy, etc. So here also it was the same condition. The people were really in a happy mood. Then she says that actually, in a clear weather, the flight from Lima to Pucallpa is one of the most beautiful in the world. It's an enjoyable flight. But what happened? After 30 minutes of the takeoff, when we were over the jungle, visibility diminished. Diminished means the actual meaning of diminish is to come down, to reduce, etc. That means visibility. That means they couldn't see the things clearly outside. So before that everything was clear, they could see everything clearly, but after 30 minutes visibility diminished or reduced. Then all of a sudden we hit a storm front. There was a sudden storm, unexpected storm, and this time it was completely different from anything I had experienced before. That means it was not her first flight. She had flown many times, but this time she understood that, she thought that there was something strange and different. Even though it was daytime, there was broad light, there was bright light, suddenly it is mentioned broad daylight turned to night around us. So we know that sometimes if there are rain clouds, there won't be that brightness. So here also the same thing happened. Then lightning was flashing incessantly from all directions. Incessantly means without any stop. That means continuously. There was continuous lightning. At the same time, an invisible power began to shake our airplane as if it were a plaything. That means the plane was shaking, moving from side. It was not moving forward comfortably. And the people, all the people there understood that there was something wrong. They were afraid. So what did they do? They cried. People cried. People cried out as objects fell on their heads. Bikes, flowers, packages, toys, jackets and clothing rained down hard on us. Sandwich trays and bags soared through the air. That means everything was flying through the air. Clearly shows that the plane was shaking violently and everything from the rack was falling down. People were frightened. They screamed and started to cry. Screamed also means they cried loudly in fear. Outside I saw a sort of bright yellow flame shooting from the right wing. An yellow flame shooting from the right wing. What does it show? I think it shows that the plane caught fire. I was blinded by that blazing light. So it was not just a small light. She was blinded by that blazing light, because we know that if the intensity of light is more, or if there is more light, we can't even see things clearly. Actually, if you have to see something, we need light, but if there is more light, we cannot see. We will be blind by the light. That's why it is mentioned, I was blinded by that blazing light. While at the same time, I heard my mother saying quite calmly, now it's all over. Now it's all over. That means everything is going to finish, and there was a very clear indication that there will be a crash. Now now it's all over. An instant later there was a violent shaking and I found myself outside the plane, flying apart from it, still strapped into my seat. What does it mean? The plane crashed and she was falling down, but still strapped into the seat. But I was alone and I was falling. Just before the crash, her mother was by the side, another person there between the rows it is mentioned, and many people were there. Now she was falling alone. I can remember turning over and over in the air. That means many times she turned. I remember thinking that the jungle trees below looked like cauliflowers. So be careful of the spelling of cauliflower. Then I lost consciousness. That means she became unconscious. So actually what happened? The plane crashed and she was falling down and she became unconscious. And now we have to see what all things will happen, how will she escape, what were the difficulties she had to face there, and all these things. But we will see it only the next class. So children, read the paragraphs many times. I think there are a number of words, new words which you have to learn. make sure that you learn the spelling and meaning of words and also complete the side questions. Okay, thank you.